Hello, everybody. Hi, how are you doing? Evelyn here from Edelf Child Therapy. I just wanted to introduce a few frequently asked questions that I get about hypnotherapy and hypnosis in particular. To save you trawling the internet and trying to find the answers, I thought maybe I could do a short video for you. So excuse me while I fiddle with my earphones here. Um, Okay, so you might be wondering, what is hypnosis and hypnotherapy and how does it work, first of all? So hypnotherapy is helping somebody to get into a very relaxed state. So they feel really comfortable, really relaxed. And what happens is then the subconscious mind becomes open to taking on suggestions and new ideas and ways of thinking. It's where all of our belief systems are stored in the brain, about ourselves and who we are. And it's our belief systems and our thoughts that are in there in that subconscious that actually drive all of our behaviors. So in order to change those behaviors, and I'm not talking about behavior as in bad behavior, I'm talking about behaviors. Everything that we do comes from thoughts and our belief systems stored deep within our consciousness, in our subconscious brain. So our subconscious brain is the one that, if any of you have found yourself kind of daydreaming in a lesson, or when you're meant to be at work or concentrating on something. And for those of you that drive a car or having driving lessons, yeah, when you become used to driving, or you're used to being in work, or you're listening to the teacher and your mind drifts, that's kind of what the state of hypnosis is like, really. It means that your conscious mind, the one that does all of your everyday thinking and processing of information, so the conscious mind that's listening to me right now, for example, and thinking about the words I'm saying, and is aware of where you are and in your surroundings and all the things you know you have to do today, you give that something to do. So a hypnotherapy, some people call them an induction, you might hear that word, is about helping someone to get into a very relaxed state. So the conscious mind kind of is busied and doing something, and the subconscious mind is therefore more open to suggestion. If that doesn't make any sense, don't worry. It took me ages during training and learning and all of that, and over the last several years of practice, to really get my head around it. So it's quite a weird concept, to get your head around, but I'm always up for conversation, and if you want to have a chat about these things, then please let me know and we'll have a chat. But that's the basics of it. So the therapy part is the kind of script, if you like, and call it a script, because usually the therapist will either use a script that is pre-written from the organization that they are affiliated with. With me, it's the International Society of Pediatric Hypnotherapists, and I'm also a member of the National Hypnotherapy Society. Or they might write one themselves. The way I tend to work is I usually have a series of more generic scripts for general issues that people can use and also can download onto audio. We'll talk about that later. But with each individual, what I tend to do is work with that individual to make a bespoke session, so that it's really tailored to that individual person, and therefore more likely to be taken on board by that young person or child or adult, if indeed it's an adult I'm working with. But that's the therapy part. So once the brain has gone into a state of hypnosis, and another word that you might hear being bandied around for this state of hypnosis, which is just about being really, really relaxed, really, is called trance. And I think that word can have different connotations and can worry people, because when people start thinking, oh, I'm going to be put into a trance, we think about all sorts of things, don't we? Depending on your age, we might think about the children's TV programs we've seen, or films we might have seen where people are in a trance state and they're doing things against their will and they're not aware of it and they're easy to control and all of those things. So that brings me on to my next frequently asked question is what I get asked all the time, which is, what does it feel like being in a trance state, and am I being controlled by someone else? Will the therapist control me? Am I able to control myself? So let's just pick that apart a little bit. So being in a trance state, all that means in hypnotherapy terms is that you are feeling very relaxed. Some people describe that feeling of that sort of feeling between being awake and asleep. You know, when you're about to fall asleep, but you're still aware of your surroundings. You might be listening to something, some music, or something on the telly or something on your phone, but you're still aware that you're in bed and you're in the room, but you're sort of about to fall asleep, that kind of feeling. So that's kind of what it feels like to be in a hypnotic trance. And therefore you're never going to be in a state where you are not aware of what's going on. You might not listen and hear everything that's going on. One of the reasons I've blurred my background here is because I think that represents visually what it can feel like. It's a bit like you're focusing on probably one or two things that the therapist is guiding you to focus on, and the rest, you're aware of your surroundings, but they might not look blurred, but it might be as if it's kind of less important at the time because your focus is on one or two things that usually you're being guided to focus on at the time. Your mind might drift, so you might think, some people think, oh, I've not been hypnotized because I came out of it because I started thinking about what was I going to have for my lunch or something. That's fine. It's absolutely normal and natural to sort of go like this with the hypnotic state and feel like you're moving in and out of it and that your thoughts come in and out, and that's perfectly natural. These are all the things that I tend to talk to people about in more detail on an individual basis, but I'm just trying to give you the general gist. No one has the power to control your mind. I can teach you some techniques and strategies to help you to learn to control your thoughts and therefore control your feelings and control your actions, especially when your thoughts and feelings aren't very helpful for you and you want to change some behaviors and the way you think leads to those behaviors. But I can't control you. So even in a deepest state of trance, if somebody's completely, really fully, almost asleep, relaxed, there's nothing I can do or say that would make you do or say anything against your will. So the next question that I get asked a lot is, I'm aware that my microphone's going in and out, looking blurry one minute and not the next. So maybe that also represents what it feels like under hypnosis, because it does feel a bit like, yeah, you know, your kind of consciousness is sort of moving around and becoming clear and unclear and all of that. So it's just like drifting off into a sleep, really, without actually fully being asleep. Some people do fall asleep, and that's fine too, because the therapy still works. Some people ask me, so I've segued a bit, but people do ask me, if I fall asleep, will the therapy work? And it's like, well, yes, because that's going directly into your subconscious anyway, so that's not a problem. But most people don't fall asleep. Okay. So yeah, the other question was going to be around what is the difference then between stage hypnotism, where somebody is made to do things against their will on stage or in a show or on the TV. And we've all seen things like that, haven't we? Where a stage hypnotist has like a bunch of people on the stage or in a show, or maybe one or two people, and they have them doing all sorts of weird things and wonderful things and thinking that they're really hot when they're cold, or that they're, you know, behaving like a baby bird falling out of a nest, or a tube of toothpaste or something crazy. And I think a lot of people worry that under hypnosis that the therapist might be able to make them do things like that. So that it's a massive no. No therapist is going to make you dance like a chicken or do any of those crazy things you see in stage hypnosis. Stage hypnosis, it's obviously it's hypnosis, but it's entertainment hypnosis. It works in a different way. And the kind of people that get chosen for their characteristics. And some people will describe the feeling of being hypnotized by a stage or entertainment hypnotist as feeling as though they know what they're doing, but they feel like they just compelled to do it anyway. And that can be for all sorts of psychological reasons, like wanting to please the hypnotist, wanting to please the audience, those kinds of things. So it's very, very different. But also it's a big fat no, because it wouldn't be good practice, and it's not in the code of practice that hypnotherapists have to work to. So we do work within professional standards, and we have to be verified by the Professional Standards Agency, because we work alongside the NHS, and it's hypnotherapy is deemed now I say now because many years ago it wasn't so much, but it's now deemed to be a viable therapeutic intervention by the NHS. So that's a good thing in that it forces therapists to make sure they are fully qualified, fully insured, that they have good code of practice, good code of ethics, all of that. So it wouldn't be ethical, and it wouldn't be good practice, and it certainly wouldn't be something that the Professional Standards Agency would expect from a therapist to work in a way that would make anybody do anything against their will. I also want to say on that note that each individual human being has their own mind and their own free will. And there's nothing that anyone else can make you do that is against what you feel is and you know to be the right thing. So no one can make you do anything bad or do anything that you wouldn't be comfortable with or anything like that. So that's absolutely not what hypnotherapy is about. Okay. As I said, if you want to talk about this in more detail, then I'm always happy to do that. Okay, so another question I get asked is, what if I get stuck? What if I get stuck in a trance or in a hypnotic state and I can't get out of it and I can't wake up, and I'm in it for a long time? So you can't get stuck. Usually a therapist will talk you into and out of the hypnotic state within your session. But even if you have a recorded session, for example, and you fall asleep listening to it, so you don't recall the coming out of it or anything like that, or if you have a session and that the therapist hasn't brought you out of it in the traditional sense, you will automatically come out of it. Also, your own mind and body and your own survival kit that you have, so your body and mind and brain know how to work in order to keep you alive. So if there's a situation where you're in any danger, or anyone you're caring for, anyone around you is in any danger, you will snap out of that and you will act accordingly for your own survival and that of your people around you. So sometimes people have said things like, if I'm in a clinic and I'm being hypnotized and the fire alarm goes off and the therapist runs out the door in a panic, will I be left there? And no, because you would get up and go out just like you would in any situation. So it's not something that puts you in a state where you can't move and you can't take any control, and that you're asleep or you're in the trance. That means that you're not aware or conscious. It's not like that at all. And most of the time you'll be perfectly aware of your surroundings and you'll just feel really, really relaxed. So the last question really that I'm going to address in this video is what does it feel like to be that relaxed? And I've already mentioned that it can feel like that kind of state where you're just about to fall asleep and you're just really, drifting in and out of consciousness a little bit between being wide awake and fast asleep. But in your body, what does it feel like? And I've experienced hypnosis many, many times. When you're training to be a therapist, you experience it yourself a lot, and practice on each other so that you know exactly what it feels like for you. But everyone experiences it slightly different. Most people experience a sense of muscle relaxation where they might feel that they can't feel their body and they feel really sort of light. Other people feel a level of muscle relaxation where they experience that their body feels very heavy, like they just can't move. They're just solid in the chair or the sofa, wherever they're relaxing. But it generally feels really good. I've never, ever experienced anybody who hasn't enjoyed the state of hypnotherapy. And you don't have to have the therapy part. You can have hypnosis purely for relaxation, and that can be a brilliant stress relief and a way of helping people get to sleep and things like that. So as a relaxation technique, it's fantastic, and it always feels good. No one ever comes out of a hypnosis session saying, "Oh, I wasn't sure about that. That felt a bit strange." Everybody loves it. And some people might say, "Oh, I don't think I can be hypnotized." Well, that's a conversation. But I think if you allow yourself to relax by trusting the therapist, then there's no reason why you can't be hypnotized. So that's my whistle-stop tour of frequently asked questions about the therapy and hypnosis. But of course, always you can email me. That's Evelyn Charmer. I'm going to spell that for people. It's EVALYNNECHARMER @outlook.com with any questions or queries. Or you can call me. The best number to call, because it has an answering machine, is 01482 887095. And that is my landline number at where I work, but also you can leave a message and I can get back to you. I do work with people all over the UK, and so distance is no object, and most of my work is online. So do get in touch if you want to have a chat about anything we've talked about today. And have a great day and enjoy the easing out of lockdown. Get yourselves out there in this lovely spring weather. And just stay safe.